All right, guys, so continuing on with 9.1, which is our right triangle trig. I'm going to go through just how to fill out this chart and an example, and then for today, you're going to try out a quizzes, hopefully. All right, so last time in the last lesson, hopefully you guys saw, we had 30, 60, 90, and 45, 45, 90 triangles. And let me get to the right screen here. So we usually have these common ratios that we fill in on these triangles. So for 30, we say the smallest side is across from the smallest angle, 30 degrees, and normally we call that x. But for the purposes of this chart, I'm going to use 1 as x. Now the biggest side of this triangle is across from the right angle, and that's the hypotenuse, and normally that's 2x. So double the small side, so if our small side is 1, this guy is going to be 2. And then our medium side, the only one left across from 60, is going to be x root 3. So in this case, that'll just be root 3. And I'll actually go back and make the values that I'm going to use purple so they just stand out a little bit different. All right, and our 45, 45, 90, things are a little bit simpler. Across from the 45s, those are both the same, so x and x. But for this triangle, we'll again call that 1. And our hypotenuse here, the biggest side would be x root 2. If we use the Pythagorean theorem and do 1 squared plus 1 squared equals hypotenuse squared. So for our example triangle, that's just root 2 here. So these are the most common angles that we'll see, and we're going to use them to help fill out this chart. So we have to remember SOHCAHTOA, right? So for sine, we're looking for the opposite side over the hypotenuse. And we're going to do this for 3 different angles. So 30 degrees means we want sine of 30 degrees. So I'm going to erase a little bit of stuff up here. So what I would do is I would find my 30-degree angle, which is right here. And then we need opposite and hypotenuse. So here is opposite 30 degrees. And this guy is always the hypotenuse in my triangle. So I'm going to take opposite, which is 1, over hypotenuse, which is 2, and that would be my answer in this box. All right, you guys can feel free to go back, rewind, whatever you need. All right, so we can complete all the sine ones first, actually. Let's go to our next one, will be sine of 45 degrees. I'm not going to write this out for the whole thing, but just get the idea. So 45 degrees over here, again, erase some of this in the triangle. So any 45, the opposite is going to be 1. So I'll write that out. And our hypotenuse in that triangle is that root 2. So this would be 1 over root 2. Now I am going to rationalize. We can't leave that radical in the denominator. So multiply by root 2 over 2. And I'm going to put my answer right in the beginning where this was. So that'll equal, we got root 2 up top, and root 2 times root 2 is 2 in the bottom. So that would be my sine of 45 degrees. So I want you guys to fill out this chart, or if you think you're getting the hang of it, then I would just draw these 2 special triangles on your paper and go ahead and try out the quizzes that I'm going to post. Let's just do like a couple random ones here to help us out a little more. So let's do this guy. How about tangent of 30 degrees? So I find 30 degrees, which is the one I have highlighted here. And tangent is our opposite over adjacent. So it's like that magic marker, which isn't so great. Tangent equals opposite over adjacent in SOHCAHTOA. So for 30 degrees, I need opposite, which is 1. There. And the adjacent, which is right next to it, root 3. So 1 over root 3. Then I rationalize. So we'll get up top root 3, in the bottom 3. All right, so that's how we'll fill out your chart so you guys can finish that up. Remember that the cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So if I already have sine of 30 degrees over here, to get the cosecant, we just flip that. All right, same thing for, remember this guy came from 1 over root 2. So if I want the cosecant of 45 degrees, I'm just going to flip it, root 2 over 1. All right, secant is 1 over cosine, cotangent 1 over tangent. We'll finish up our chart. So you guys can finish that up, and I will be there on Zoom to help you out if you need help with that. So there's a couple questions on those, and the other questions are on actually giving angles in a triangle and using these angles instead of special triangles here. So this is using a calculator, and your phone calculator should have that, or I'll repost on Google Classroom. TI is giving out free models right now of our scientifically used in school. So I'll repost that for today. So to solve triangle ABC means we're looking for all of the other sides and angles. Now remember, in a triangle, all the angles, I'm going to say all angles in triangle add to 180 degrees. So we already have a 28 degree angle, and we have a 90 degree angle. So if we add those up, we get 118 degrees that we already have. So to find the missing angle, and they called it B over here, to find angle B, we're going to take 180, which is what all the angles should add up to, and subtract the angles that we already have. And we get 62 degrees. All right, so to find the two missing sides here, side A and side C, we have to use at least one trig function, and you can use whichever one you like. Well, there's usually a bunch of options, but here I have two angles that I can use. So 28, let's find angle A. Angle A would be the opposite side of 28. So I'm going to call this opposite. We also have side B here, which for 28 is the adjacent side. So we want to use a trig function involving opposite and adjacent, and if we remember, that would be our tangent of some angle. So my angle is going to be 28 degrees. The opposite side is what we're looking for, and the adjacent side is 15. So to get A alone, I would multiply 15 on both sides. And then in my calculator, I type 15 tan 28. Now, if you have a graphing calculator or some scientific calculators, you need to make sure the mode is set to degree mode. So if you're not getting the answer that I'm getting right here, which is 7.98, and check your mode, and you can Google how to change the mode, or I can help you on Zoom. All right, so we've got side A. Now the last side we're missing is side C. You could do another trig function, like we could do opposite and hypotenuse. We could do sine, or we can use Pythagorean theorem, which says a squared, so 7.98 squared, plus b squared, plus 15 squared equals c squared. So I'm going to solve. And over here I got 288.68 equals c squared, so I need to take a square root, and I get 16.99. And we solved our triangle. All right. All right, guys, so I'm going to post the answers down here for you to check out and try out our quizzes for today. and let us know any questions.